education has been adjudged the bedrock of the society. The realization that the government cannot do it all prompts some other groups like the private sectors and non-governmental organizations to complement government efforts. Etsako Club 81 has excelled in the provision of scholarship to deserving students cutting across all clans in Etsako land. To further raise the awareness and consciousness of people, the club organized a webinar tagged Education in 2021 and Beyond on Sunday 27th of December 2020 to replace the town hall meeting earlier scheduled. The webinar had the convergence of representatives of the clans in Edo North with presentation from panelists from diverse backgrounds. In his opening remarks, Dr. Mahmoud Dako, President Etsako Club 81, welcomed guests and gave an overview of the educational situation while highlighting some of the achievements of the club.
It's unfortunate that the people from the government are not in the platform today. We made all attempt to get them involved, but they were unavoidably absent. Etsako Club 81 has done a lot in education. We have provided furniture and science equipment for laboratory worth over 15 million to schools in the zone for the past 10 years. We are also involved in welfare of our people, including health. For us in Edo North, the first secondary school was in 1960. That was Alido Fatima Grammar School. This was quickly followed by St. John's Fuka, St. Peter's Agenibode, St. Angela's Zaire, and Mamadou College, or Ashoke Grammar School, Hagbede. That same 1963, a tertiary institution, Ashoke Polytechnic, came into existence. So it is clear to all of us now, we have actually been late starters in education.
In his keynote speech, the Vice Chancellor of Edo University, Iyamo Ozarire, spoke on the contribution of tertiary institutions to educational development in Edo North, using Edo University as a case study.
There are a number of notable tertiary institutions in Edo North. There are, however, several of these who are non-functional and require government intervention. Now, the one and only university in the whole of Edo North at present is the Edo University Iyamo Ozarire. This university has made enviable achievements within a short time and has become the pride of Edo North in particular and Edo State in general. The government has, however, been making giant strides in the teaching hospital project at Edo University Iyamo. I want to say that the teaching hospital project in Edo University Iyamo is more than 50% complete. The Edo University project. The Edo University was ranked third best university in Nigeria by National Universities Commission in our open educational repository ranking in 2018. Because of time, I'll just go through them: the administrative block, science building, engineering workshop, students hostel view. All our hostels in Edo University are ensuite. Our laboratories have been adjudged world class by all the visiting teams that we have had cause to host so far. Mass communication studio. I'm told by those who should know that it is world class. We equipped the library with e-learning facilities. Now, the learning management system, I must say, that we have, Canvas, is the same learning management system that 70% of all the world-class universities use.
In her presentation and x-raying the numerous challenges confronting education in Edo North, Mrs. Queensley Ohumale, a retired director of education, hinged on poverty as the bane of most of the challenges while preferring learning centers and adoption of a child to train, as some of the panels here.
The biggest problem that is facing our schools is that of poverty. The next problem we have, I know our time is limited, is homelessness. There are some children who are homeless. The next challenge is that of selfishness and corruption. The next problem again is infrastructure. If you look at our schools, primary and secondary, most of the buildings, they have dilapidated. They are pleading for rebranding. Oh, okay, who will bear the cat? Government leaders will look at them and turn their eyes away from such mess. Oh, what are they? Nobody. It is you and I, and those of us at the helm of affairs. The Vice Chancellor said just now, there are no technical schools in Etsako. The one we have at Igara, how functional is it? It's a dead school. So if we can have one, then we employ some of these well-trained artisans to take care of these children. I think we will go a long way. But it's not enough for us to just pursue the normal education classroom this thing. Let us bring people who are trained, mechanics, tailors, name them, to come and teach these children in vocational centers.
Principal Aslem Izuage, the president of ANCOPS, preferred more solutions to the inherent challenges to education in Edo North in 2021 and beyond.
That there is no solution to exam malpractice except we agree to do one thing, and that is change the orientation of the minds of the people. Providing solutions to this problem is first of all getting government to agree that they have faith and they have a role and a duty to the society. If they give us the lead, every other thing will be put in place, whether funding, whether infrastructure, whether teachers, whatever you think of.
The panelists done, the space was open for more discussants. Taking the lead is a long-standing member of the club and retired executive director of NTA, Barrister Grace Egbagbe, who spoke on tending to the educational needs of the indigents.
Who is the less privileged? And when we talk about the less privileged, are we not also talking about the underprivileged? Okay, let me try and see if there's a distinction between the two. The less privileged in a society are said to be the poor people who have less money and opportunity to do the things in their life that they would want to do. Such people are often referred to as poor or indigent, and they have fewer advantages and opportunities than most people. Etsako Club 81 has been in the forefront of equipping schools, equipping labs. Why can't we also carry this to infrastructure, which is also the bane of education delivery in rural areas? Being educated will guarantee you a good job. And you know something? You're never too old to learn. Whether you're old or you're young, education is for everyone.
Mr. Stephen Ashoke, in his brisk and concise presentation, focused on the role of government in the provision of quality education in Edo North, while Barrister Patrick Inobeme, the second Vice President and Chairman Education Committee, gave insight into the role of non-governmental organizations in enhancing quality education using the contribution of Etsako Club 81 as a blueprint.
First, the role of government in provision of quality education in Etsako land and in extension Edo North. I believe when we talk of government, we are also involved. Government should think more of the provision of qualified, competent, and committed teachers in all secondary schools in Etsako land and Edo North in general.
The role of NGOs as far as enhancing education of our people is concerned cannot be overemphasized. And that is how NGOs too have grown and are encouraged to grow to take up this role, even when Western life, Western values have taken over our traditional life, that some of us now tell because they are educated, they no longer care about what is happening along their communities or within the family system.
The comments and questions session had His Royal Highness the Aidonoje of South Ibia making his contribution, followed by others, including participants from the diaspora, with the questions ably answered by the relevant panelists.
We're even talking of infrastructure. Let's even assume that the private organization decide to come, okay, we will build all the buildings, we will put all the infrastructures. The question is, are there teachers to teach these children? Even if they are teachers, how qualified are they to teach these children?
The webinar has been adjudged as successful as Etsako Club 81 is expected to go to the drawing board for the implementation of the various solutions preferred in collaboration with other stakeholders.